expert. She's also one of the few Mahavashtu consultants in the Philippines. I want to know more about that.
Yes.
So welcome to the show, Miss Neetu Nilishi, founder,
Namaste.
founder of Miraki Miracle House.
Thanks a lot for having me. I love the energy of your show. Thanks a lot for that. Namaste.
Welcome to PairFect.
Namaste. Yes.
So,
So, Neetu, we want to ask. We're already
let's jump.
7 months into the year.
Yeah.
How has 2021 been like for you so far?
Well, I can't complain. It's been wonderful. I think 2020 has been very instrumental and prepared me very well for the year 2021. I think I was very, because for me, change is the only constant, and I love to learn something new every time. So I was very fortunate to be able to give him this nice platform with like people like you, where I can share my story, where I can offer some nice sacred modality tips, which can help people from their day-to-day lives. And I also got lucky that I was roped in by the Mega Magazine to be their monthly like columnist, which I think is a great honor for me.
Wow.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
I like, thank you so much. I like to believe that, like the way Dalai Lama says, that the happiness starts from within. No external barriers there. So I think this year has been very instrumental for me to be able to concrete that emotion in my subconscious mind, which was very transformational for me. Just to sort of embrace like a glorious mess, just to accept life as it is right now, and just so like you don't need anything else in life. And plus, I love this quote by Martin Luther King, that not everybody can be famous, but then everybody can be successful, because success is determined by service. So I think this year has been great for me because I was able to give so much service, like pay back. So I think that gave me a lot of peace inside my mind. Then of course, my friends and family and my tribe, which always ensures that I'm on track, and my writing and the journaling, which helps me which basically helps me have good thoughts, which always shows out of your face as sunbeams, and it always makes you look lovely. How do I look today?
You look
Good, I guess.
lovely.
You look
Thank you.
beautiful.
You look like a pageant contestant.
Oh
Yes.
my, like you just made my day. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you.
And we can see that it's just beyond the physical beauty, but you're also glowing.
Yeah,
We
from
can
within.
feel your energy here, all the way to our studio.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I guess it's
Thank you
because
so
of the
much.
mindset, your feelings, your
I think the good
energy.
thoughts, yeah, right. Because what you feel within will always reflect outside. I firmly believe that. So it's very important to be mindful of what's going on inside of you, just so
Okay.
it can surface very well outside of you.
So, Neetu, how long have you been doing this, the alternative sciences, I'd like to call it? When
Well,
did you
it's been a
start?
long time. Okay, so I'm from India, okay, and I'm very fortunate to be brought up by some spiritually inclined parents, both from science background, like my mom being a pathologist and my dad being like a microbiology, like a lecturer. So like they always instilled in me to always believe what is right and wrong, and then do what my heart says is right. So as a
Okay.
child, I have always been very intuitive. And I would get visions about people, about myself, about my future. But it was very erratic and raw, because at that time we had no Google, we had no extra knowledge, right? And yeah, so if you ask me, at the age of 17, from distributing pamphlets at a gas station to
Oh.
completing my MBA and to join a corporate sector, I was all there. Okay. But like they say, one goes they all like one goes like a whole life not knowing what their purpose is, and they
Okay.
don't know it because they don't seek it, and because they don't seek it, like their life is casually lived with this emptiness and with this feeling of lack, right?
Okay.
So I was very fortunate to be able to meet some great mentors, teachers who actually taught me so much with their wisdom from the great minds, like through their books, through their videos, through their audios. And one such guru was Dr. K.B. Bansal. who taught me Mahavashtu, and my life changed completely.
Oh.
And then of course, like they say that when you're ready, like everything sort of like transforms around you, right?
Right.
So I like remember telling my husband once that is there a job where I can help people and plus I get paid of it? I mean, I get paid for it. And my husband just like laughed at me that I don't think so. Then I joined this He Cares Foundation where we work with orphans. And there also I met some great people who actually introduced me to the world of tarot cards and
Tarot
meditation.
cards. Okay.
And because like they say, every one of us can be a psychic, but it depends on the willingness of us to be able to hone that craft and that talent, right?
Okay.
So I was fortunate that I was able to devote that time with the support of my friends and my family. And this is just the beginning of my journey. I have a long way to go, and I'm just waiting for the future to unfold in a nice way, and I'm just ready for that. You
All
know.
right. So, 17 years old when you started getting into it, right?
7 years, I was 18 actually. It's a very, very funny story if I can share that with you.
Sure.
So once I was giving this interview for some corporate sector and they asked me to join the company tomorrow, like the next day. And I had the whole luggage with me because we were moving our house at that point in time. And the guard would not allow me to enter with that baggage. And I had no other place to actually keep it because we had just those like kiosks outside the building, right? And this man walks up to me with his brown pants and his like black shirt. Man, can I help you with something? And I thought it must be a manager of some sort. And I said, yes, sure. It's like let me handle that. And he somehow convinced the guy to be able to allow me to get in. And he escorts me to a room which is behind the reception, which was a little ajar and it was a little dingy there. And there were around six or seven people there. And I suddenly saw a golden light around this man, a very vivid, clear golden light.
Wow.
Like I mentioned, we had no access to Google or like textual knowledge. So I don't know that I am in fact seeing an aura. And the first thought that came to my mind was, I wish this guy becomes my husband. I didn't know his name, whether he's married, divorced, no idea. I had just met him. And it's been 16 years of our marriage.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
like basically around that time, around 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
quite a
amazed.
story.
Yeah.
You met your future
Yeah, it's a very
husband.
neat, cute thing with me and my husband.
Yeah, you met your future husband and you also realize your psychic
My calling.
abilities. Yes, your
Yes,
calling. That's a very
yes.
good. I think that's destiny.
Yes.
People
I
are
guess
meant to
I like to
be
believe
what
that.
they are, right? But you said that everyone has psychic powers or talents,
Mhm,
but it
mhm.
depends on the person how you maximize or tap into that skill.
Absolutely.
How does
Repetition, repetition. Right. Correct.
is it like you have to have self-awareness or you have to will to be psychic?
Of course, like I said, the first step is always being mindful. Like I
Mm.
said, some people just go on living their lives not knowing what they want. And that sort of gives a very residual dead energy to their psyche, right? As long as you're mindful, like I said, meditation works a great and like it works amazingly well because then you're aware of what you are doing, what you're feeling, what you are experiencing. And then, of course, with your daily spiritual practice, because one thing common between great leaders, all of those amazing people, they have a daily me time or like a daily spiritual practice. It could be like reading, it could be like meditating, it could be like exercising, where you can unleash and sort of like give away all the excessive energy which is no longer working for your higher self, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yes, one has to be aware and mindfulness is a part of it, but it comes by acknowledging it that I, in fact, want to be able to feel layer by layer what I am capable of, you
In
know?
your case, Neetu, how did you develop it? I mean, you realized that you had something special and then you studied for it, right? And then you developed all these
I,
other skills.
yes, it was an amalgamation of both actually. So I did study as well with the University of Holistic Theology. Plus, I practiced. I used to meditate. I remember I would wake up at 3 a.m. every night, and I would meditate for two hours. Or like at 4 a.m. in the morning, because I feel if you know about the composition, I mean, I'm talking about the Ayurveda, which is about what, pith, and kapha. the air, water, fire. We are dominantly sort of, I mean, like every one of us have this dominant composition, which never changes from the time you are in the womb of your mother till the time you are ash, right?
Mm-mm.
So like the time from like 3 a.m. up until 6 a.m. is a great time to be able to create something beautiful, to be able to
Oh.
imbibe some messages from the higher self, from the cosmic consciousness. It's a great time because after around like 8 9 a.m. or like 10 a.m., that's when the kapha, which is known as the water element, comes in, which makes you a little sluggish, a little like,
Oh,
like lazy, fatigued. So that is the best time to actually tap into it.
I
So I'm an
see.
early riser, and I firmly advocate to rise early, like a 4 a.m. club or a 5 a. I mean, or like a 5 a.m. club. Like
Oh,
the book
Yeah.
Robin will. I mean, this guy called Robin Sharma and his book Five
yeah.
a.m. Club. It's a great read. I would highly recommend that book.
I
Yeah.
read I read somewhere that if you suddenly wake up and you have this idea, or as if someone whispered to you, or if you got a message, don't sleep. Listen to that message. Would that be something like that? Like at 3 a.m. you suddenly
Absolutely,
wake
there are a
up.
lot of experts. Yeah, I firmly believe that. If you see my bedside table, there will always be my notebook with a pen. Because I believe one of the great ways to wake up in the morning is to try to write down your dream. It's actually very
Oh.
good for your brain as well because it makes you absorb more like memory. Example, if someone is like reading a book, right? Some people read books and books, but they can't absorb it and can't like remember anything. But then when you have this practice of like writing it down, because it depends on your clairs. Like we have different clairs like clairgustant, clairvoyance, where like people can see, hear, taste, all the five senses. Some people are very
Mm.
good with the feeling, like all knowing feeling that something is there and I can feel it, which is like your instinct. Then there are like clairvoyant people who can see things like auras, like the way I can see, right? There are some people who can hear things, right? So it depends on what kind of clair you are. So it's always advisable to have a journal and write down your thoughts. I can share a story with
Mm.
you. In
Okay.
the biography of Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson could not sleep in the night. So he had this habit of calling his manager at wee hours, like something like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., because he would get ideas, some sort of download from the universe. So one day, like he just called like his manager in the middle of the night that I need fireflies. Like what, Michael? Just like go back to sleep. No, we need fireflies. Why? Just do it. Otherwise, Prince will get it. Because at that time, Prince was like his main competition there. Because we
Yeah.
have this constant churning of download. If you don't listen to the right message at the right time, right? And you are not your best self, because people say it's good to be at the right time at the right place. No, it's good to be like the best version of yourself and then be at the right place at the right time, because that fireflies became the biggest show of his life, which basically gave him an
Oh, goosebumps.
external, I mean, this like massive and this like phenomenal platform. So that's why it's always good to be always mindful and write it down.
Yeah,
Wow.
mindfulness. It's a
Yes,
term that
yes.
we've been hearing so much
Yeah.
during this pandemic. And I think we would like to ask Neetu more about it. But right now, let's pause for a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Every time I'm on the road, I can expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. Now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
And we're back. I'm with Dina Ventura. I'm Francine Marquez, and we're talking to Neetu Nilishi, intuitive counselor and Mahavashtu expert. Hello, Neetu. Welcome
Hello.
back.
Hi again.
Yeah. So we were talking about how you can harness your creative ideas and innovative thinking probably in the wee hours of the morning if you have it.
So the
Right.
importance of mindfulness.
Yes, writing down your thoughts, very important. Yes. So, I have another question. Tell us
Mhm.
about each one. Tarot card reading, angel card reading, numerology, Reiki healing, and crystal therapy. Some people shun it because they believe faith is enough. But then you studied all this at the University of Holistic Theology. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a long list. I can go on and on, but I'm going to
But your
respect
study,
the timing
probably.
of your show there.
Yes, yes. Tell us
Well, like I
about your
said, faith is
studies.
subjective. Sorry, please go ahead.
Your studies, or what you learned all this
Yes, like I
in
said,
the
it's been 10 years that I'm doing it actively now.
Mhm.
See, faith is very subjective, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
what faith might be for you might be a very different ballgame for me. But
Mm-hmm.
let me just start by telling you about each and every aspect. Okay, let's start with angel card reading and then tarot card reading
Mm-hmm.
because like they both are opposite to each other. See, angel card readings are just loving messages from your angels and your archangels and like your spirit guides which you need to hear at that point in time in your life because there are some people who are very sensitive and they don't like to hear facts like the way they are and they like us to camouflage and sort of make it in a more gentler manner just so it can transcend in them smoothly.
Okay.
So angel cards are very smooth reading, which can like assure your faith or like your belief system, which can give you the push and the thrust to go on in your life.
I
Okay.
see.
Now tarot card readings, which is very very close to me. Tarot card readings, and like cards are archetypes of all of the human experience. It's like a roadmap. Okay.
Okay.
In our tarot deck, we have a couple of cards which are your destiny cards, which means something is bound to happen but then one can always control how they experience it. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have a couple of cards which are subjective, which means you can always like maneuver your journey to reach your destination, like a roadmap, like I mentioned, right? So
Okay.
it's more like which I like spoke about earlier, that be it about your love life, legality, about your business, about your job, about your health. It can tell you the entire overall aspect of it. If you're supposed to take, say, part A, and you are right now on part B. Just by me just nudging you to the right direction, it will make you reach your destination with a very huge bang, which is what you need at this point in time. Plus the clarity which we spoke about.
Yes.
That when people are confused. So it's more like a guidance which the card tell you that what this person thinks about you, what is it that you can do to enhance this kind of like a relationship, what does your business look like, what are the what are the remedies which we can apply in terms of the yogic meditation techniques or like the pranayama
Mm-hmm.
or other like yogic aspects which I include in my tarot card reading with the solutions which will then make you have a very well-rounded of life,
I
so it
see.
works like that. Okay.
Okay.
uh, Moving on to Reiki. Reiki is an energy modality, right? Like you all know about it. It's a Japanese technique. It's also known as a palm healing or like hands-on healing because it's a touch therapy.
Okay.
Where we have 33 center points and certain symbols, which we sort of like project on you through our palms. Because we have to be centered, cleansed, shielded, just so we can become the medium or like the intermediator to be able to take the prana, chi
Mm-hmm.
or ki, which is like your life force energy, and like sort of like project that onto you to give you the mental healing, emotional healing, karmic healing, physical healing. But it's a touch therapy. Okay.
Okay.
Then the next one is the chronic healing. Chronic healing is similar to Reiki, but of course, in this healing, we use crystals
Mm-hmm.
and we use other tools as well. And we work on your chakras. I don't know if you are aware of seven chakras, because in
Yes.
the Vedic mythology, we have like the plethora of chakras. We have this body, which is like the auric body, which has 72 different pathways and
Mm-hmm.
channels. And we basically activate and balance those channels for you just so you can heal completely. So it
Yes.
works like that. Okay. And the last and not the least is the Mahavashtu that we spoke about, right?
Yes.
So Mahavashtu, like I said, is also very close to me, just like tarot card reading. So Mahavashtu isn't okay. It has come from a word called vas or nivas, which means a place where you live or dwell.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Now
house.
this is a with yeah, it's vas or nivas. It's a Sanskrit word. So Mahavastu has sort of coined from that terminology. It goes 6,000 years back. In fact, a lot of these principles from feng shui has derived from Vastu. A
Oh.
lot of these symbols, yes. And a lot of people, as in people don't know about this because it's much more popular as compared to Vastu or like Mahavastu. But if you go to India, UK, US, it's actually pretty famous out there. I mean, it's
Okay.
actually very popular there. So I'm like trying to bring this great sacred science from the east to the west to the Philippines now.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like a Vedic secret that can amplify your health, make like your relationships and health better, give you the power and the recognition, because we have 32 entrances and 16 zones in Mahavastu. If your feng shui is based on your energy number and like your geography, because it can be applied to any home. Mahavastu is much more expansive because this can be applied to a home which is built from scratch. Just by choosing a good entrance, one can be a game changer there. So we work in terms of the 5 elements, the air, water, fire, earth, space, because just like we are made of air, water, fire, earth, space, so is our environment. So if I can like project the right statue or the color or the symbol in the right zone, it can amplify and give you that additional thrust which is lacking. Example, northeast, which is also known as the Ishan cone, which is like the head of the entire house. It's that important. It's a very sacred zone there, which gives you a lot of
Oh.
like clarity. So if someone has a toilet bowl in that zone, it's like imagine someone's going to cut off your head. One can't function. So similarly, it's a major vastu like correction which one needs to make. If they have a loo in that zone, right? Similarly, if you sit in the southeast area of your house, you will get the additional confidence and the power to be able to execute your work. So each zone has a certain like trait with it,
Okay.
because like a place where you sleep, live, and eat, right, has a direct impact on your psyche, which can then impact like your relationships and your health. I mean,
Yes.
consider like your house like a 3D vision board. So every symbol tends to always affect and tame your subconscious mind into manifesting it. Like you must have seen, or rather, like you must have heard, that law of attraction is about attracting what you want, I mean, like whether it's good or bad. But law of manifestation is about attracting who you are already. And your house has to be like a projection of who you are as an individual,
I
right?
like that.
So it works like that. So I basically I changed the entire house based on your customized composition and your thinking process, just so you can reach like the best version of your greatest vision. If I may just add one more thing here that you must have been aware of it yourself. Whenever you go to a new space, suddenly good luck bestows upon you, great things happen to you. Whether like you move to another space, cash flow becomes less, things get tough.
Right.
Why is that? Because the energy of the space can have a direct impact on the circumstances of your life. And just by changing certain directions and certain like positions of your house, you can really have a transformational change in your life.
Because
It works like that.
it's very important now, I think, because a lot of people are living and working in their
Out of
houses.
home,
Yes,
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 So
yes.
I
yes.
think it's the right time for them to review exactly what's around them.
Where are
And
the good energies to
yeah.
work?
I can give a
Oh.
tip if you want, because like they're working
We
out of
want
home.
a
So I,
tip.
I can give a very generic tip that
Okay.
always try to have your main office desk, either it should face the door or face the window, where it's much more expansive, much more unconditional and unbinding, as opposed to a wall. Because if your desk is placed like in front of a wall, then you will always have blockages in your head. So always face,
Oh,
yeah,
A
like
door or a
open,
window or
open
something
door, window, yes.
expansive.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
open. Yes,
Yeah.
Which is not like feng shui because they say in feng shui, if you face the door, the luck will come out.
Like I said, see, one should always follow one line or like modality because
Okay.
otherwise it can be very confusing, right?
Confusing.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because I'm
yes.
just saying one aspect of it. There are different layers to it as well, right? So,
Yes. So Neetu, so this is what you are offering in your business, the Miraki Miracle House. Can you tell us a little bit more about your company?
sure. Miraki is a very special word for me. It's a Greek word, which basically means when you do something with utmost faith, devotion, passion, and with undivided energy, and you tend to leave a sense of your soul in that work which you do, is known as Miraki. Like you do something with Miraki.
Miraki.
So Miraki
Mm.
Miracles is like a dream or like a baby which I wanted to actually open, but then right now because of the full COVID times, it's
Yeah.
all online now, right?
Right.
But I do plan to open like a center here in the future, in the very near future. So where we will be a platform where we will teach about these different modalities. We will also do different like Reiki, pranic healing,
Mm.
intuitive counseling. So where we'll teach as well as we'll practice as well as we'll do the healing.
Okay.
So it works. So it's like a big platform there,
Okay. So
like a center, like a wellness center.
is
So tell us about the experience. Like if I want to go into counseling, so I set up an appointment because I'm sure a lot of our viewers right now want to visit you and consult you. How do we go about it?
You can
Especially
always
this
find me on
point.
Instagram. I'm very
Okay.
active on social media. I go by like by Neetu Nilishi, or you can check out my website. It's mirakimiracles.com. You can always visit me there. I have an active page on Facebook as well, or you could just Google me, and I'm going to be there.
That's great.
yeah, is it a different experience doing it online or virtually compared
Actually,
Yeah,
to
there
how do
face
was
to
you
not
do
much of
it
face?
a
right
difference
now?
because even before the COVID time, because I have my clients like in Dubai, Indonesia,
Ah,
Australia,
okay.
US, and
Okay.
I can't be there everywhere, right? I mean, because now I can't travel because I actually like travel incessantly up until 2020 February. So yeah, but the other thing is that it all depends um, on my willingness to be able to capture that vibration because it's all about the current vibration which you are sort of like projecting. So it depends on my vidya and my determination or my discipline or my practice, how I'm able to take that from you. So it doesn't really matter to me because it will be equally accurate and very detailed as compared to in session there. But of course, when you are in person, right, then of course you can see the cards. It's much more like personalized. But then online also is no less of an experience because I've done thousands of my like clients so far. Touch wood, zero complaints.
Okay, good. So,
So it doesn't really matter. Distance doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
It's
I
all about the
guess.
vibrations that
right.
Yeah,
encapsulate on. Yeah,
and the intuition itself, no,
Yes.
which is
intuitions.
very, it's non-material.
Think about like this, right? If God has, see, God can never make a mistake, right? If God has given you the left logical and the rational brain and the right seat of intuition brain, which is to do with your emotions, we are meant to use both of them. So it doesn't really matter. So because there are some people who are more like logical people, but then this is pretty much intuitively logical step towards the new future, right?
Yes, yes.
But Nitu, do you have any particular preference in terms of the services that you offer, the kind of counseling? Do you
Well,
have
can a mother choose who is a favorite child? I don't think
something
that.
like
I mean,
that?
I mean, they are my like babies. I've actually grown so much. I mean, like they say, first you have to heal yourself just so you can heal people. Each and every one of them has been so imperative and so crucial into making me or like molding me into what I am. So I can't thank one energy like one modality less than other, right? So
Yeah.
they're equally important to me.
Yes.
What about the people who go to you like
Mhm.
they just have this intense problem, like they're grieving or they want to seek solutions? Do you advise
Yes,
them? Do
yes.
you
I mean, of
advise
course,
them
number
what
one
sort of
problem these
therapy?
days. Sorry, please go ahead.
Do you advise them what kind of therapy or counseling they should get, or do they dictate
Yes,
it? How does
yes,
it
of
go
course,
about?
yes. Of course, yes, of course. There was a client of mine because nowadays health, love, and career, these three things are always very important, like in someone's life, right? Because
Top
they are made
three.
of glass balls. I mean, because once it drops, it's very difficult to be able to bring that up again, right? So yes, I can share one experience with you. I have a client like in Indonesia, and once her daughter, she had this problem with her abdomen, and she was just 12 years old, and they had been to so many doctors, and the fees used to be like in like hundreds and like thousands of dollars there. So just by telling them what to do, what to place in a certain zone in their house, it's been 1 year. She's absolutely fine. There's no problem
Wow.
with her at all. And her money, I'm talking about the expensive. Expenses. It's 1/10 of it what it used
Wow.
to be. So
Wow.
it's as simple as that. And that is the beauty. I think that's what I love about my job. Because when your passion gets merged with your purpose and the smile and the contentment which you see on your client's face, I think that's what is more important in life. No?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, yes.
I can really feel her Neetu's passion.
Yes.
Because money and fame are like just like byproducts. If you do something with your utmost attention, right, then all these things are a given. I don't see any reason why you will not get these byproducts. So focus on making yourself this expertise, I mean, like, making yourself this expert in that field. So I just focus on making myself better, 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 and better, and
Good,
that's all I focus on.
good
And
advice.
the rest will follows.
Yes, but Neetu, when the pandemic started, you continued your work because you've been doing it online anyway. What kind of clients or what kind of problems have you had to help people with?
What kind of problems did I have to
Yes,
deal with?
yeah.
Majority,
Because
like
that, yeah, because my
probably.
clientele, I have people from housewives or to Broadway or to these corporate
Uh-huh.
CEOs and like bosses, right? And these doctors too, because I'm working with Centro right now. They have their branch in Commerce Avenue and in like Rockville by the Grove, where we
Mm-hmm.
deal with patients who are manic depressants and they are like they have like schizophrenia and like stuff like that. So like we deal with them. So I do deal with doctors as well and plus patients
Mm-hmm.
as well. So like I said, more or less it's similar. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you ask me, this pandemic has not really affected me per se
Mm-hmm.
because I was very clear with my vision. Because if you know why you want something, I think the how becomes very easy is
Okay.
what I like to believe. A long time back, I had heard the story that once there was a war going on between the Nazis and the U.S. people, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone thought that the U.S. people will actually lose the war and the Germans will actually win the war. Okay, and everyone was like selling their stuff frantically, were like going berserk, like were going berserk in their head. But this one man, Franklin Templeton, thought otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone is right now thinking from the adversity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What if 0.01% Nazis like they lose the war? What then? This man, this smart man, started borrowing money from people and they started buying shares and he bought shares from 104 companies.
Mm.
Okay? And luck has it, Nazis in fact lost the war
Lost.
and
Yeah.
he became a billionaire overnight. So that's the kind of mindset I like to exude and have in me. That I
Mm-hmm.
know like world is going through a very bad shift, and I get that, and I can
Mm-hmm.
just be there to help people and to be of service. But at the same time, it's very important for me to master my own self because there's no better mastery in the world than to master oneself. So
Yes.
I am very particular about making sure that I am clear in my head and I know my vision, and because of that. This pandemic as such hasn't really affected me, and because of that, I think like the fact that I could hear my clients because at this point in time, some clients like they just want to talk to you, just want to vent on, like as like
Mm-hmm.
vent it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always important to hear them not for the sake of listening, but to understand where they are coming from. And I think that is something which is missing these days because people are
Mm-hmm.
now more about talking as opposed to listening. So I think that's also I think is one of my assets. I like to believe that I like to first listen and understand where the person is coming from, and then provide the clarity or the guidance what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I mentioned earlier, they have all the answers within them already. It's just
Mm-hmm.
right now fogged. It's just right now unclear. And I just make that clear for them.
Okay, manifest it.
Yes. But I have a question. You said you're working with medical doctors. So how does that synergize with their treatment versus your holistic approach?
See, that's the
Because
beauty
you're
of it.
talking
I
about...
think, like I said, I'm very fortunate to work with Dr. Candy Drillman. Like she's the founder of the Centro Holistical. They are basically into alternative medicines where they do acupuncture, colon cleansing, and like stuff like that. And there are a lot of these patients, who get addicted to medicines, to meds, right? Which we all know
Yes.
has bad repercussions in the future, right? I mean, it's very unfortunate that like a decade before, top three industries were number one being food industry, second medicine, and third alcohol. Now it's number one medicine industry, second alcohol, and third food industry because people are popping pills first thing in the morning. So my job here, like there, is to wean them off of meds by suggesting and making them adopt these yogic practices and breath purification techniques,
Wow.
which they can make a part of their daily spiritual practice, sort of like integrate that into their lifestyle, as opposed to popping medicines. And just by doing it, like I said, it's a process. It's not like a magic wand which will work in one go, but just by like practicing these like modalities on a regular basis and then sort of customizing basis your need, you can be a game changer. You can change your life for the better without because I think if nature gives you a disease, it gives you a cure as well. But the people are unfortunately like relying more on these chemicals as compared to what we are built on.
Right.
Because we have the most powerful machinery in the world, our body, our mind.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we are, banking on the external factors these days. So this is where we synergize and work together. Because there are a lot of clients who are just ingesting, but they are not really, because it's become a habit for them to be able to come and then get this and then eat medicines, right? So I'm trying to make them have a different approach to life and do things which are much more organic and natural, for the overall betterment of their health.
Yes. I think that we're seeing a lot of people going into that direction.
Natural healing.
Yes.
And
Yeah, we've seen a major shift in the last 2 decades. I mean, so many people are now getting into meditation and so many other modalities. It's wonderful. I'm so happy that it's happening. I'm so happy to be born in this kind of generation to have access and see all these things, happening in front of my eyes.
Yeah, so we'd really like to hear more about that,
Yes.
about how we can make that shift into a new kind of world. But we'll pause for another break. We'll be right back.
Click, click, that's it. Never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap, walang hirap, it's a wrap. Just tap the app. Now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the ring apps are the in thing, you know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use, mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One, all in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now.
Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Hatch something big. The all-new Honda City hatchback with 4 seating modes. Utility mode, long mode, tall mode, refresh mode. The all-new City hatchback. Hatch more life.
Manong Joe po,
At Ate Maita,
ngayong Hunyo, bahagyang tumaas ng 8 centavos per kilowatt hour ang overall electricity rates. Ito'y dahil sa dagdag singil sa WESM.
alam niyo ba, pwede kayong i-update ng Meralco sa text or sa email gaya ni Sarah G. Sisendan kayo ng advanced updates tulad ng upcoming bill details. Di na kayo kakaba-kaba sa paghihintay ng bills. At anumang mangyari sa bill, masira, mabasa, o mawala, no problem. To get updates, i-update ang inyong contact information sa Facebook Messenger, meralco.com.ph, email, hotline 16211 o Meralco Business Centers.
Handa kami makipag-ugnayan sa inyo para makapaghatid ng mas mabuti, mabilis, at maginhawang serbisyo.
Hanggang sa susunod na
Meralco Advisory.
Hello, and we're back. This is PairFect. I'm with Dina Ventura. I'm Francine Marquez, and we're having a very enlightening discussion with Neetu Nilishi, intuitive counselor and Mahavashtu expert. Hi, Neetu.
Hi again.
We're back. So, we want to find out, because of the pandemic, are there any particular learnings that you've gained personally and as a practitioner?
Yes, as a matter of fact, a lot. See, like I mentioned earlier, that change is the only constant, right? And these turbulent times, I think we should focus on who we are essentially and what we really want to do. So I would highly suggest that instead of just, doing tasks for the heck of completing them, we should rather focus on some value-added tasks or work, to be able to find that true fulfillment and joy. And by joy, I don't mean Netflix and gadgets, okay? I mean more like walking bare feet on grass, calling up an old friend to sort of check on that person, playing with a pet, listen to music, so many other things which we were somehow forgetting because we were so focused on maintaining our goals and as in to sort of focus on achieving them, that we were not essentially enjoying our life. I think I learned that my family, and I think I was in a way neglecting them because of my travel plans, right? So I think this has been a great time for me to be able to bond with my family, which I think is a non-negotiable. And it should be a non-negotiable in someone's life, right? So that is something that I learned very nicely, in this time. And I also learned that that we tend to always follow mainstream a lot. But what I mean by that if someone is watching something, you will watch the same thing, read the same books, talk to the same people, which I think is not making us contribute much to our society and not making us grow like the way we are meant to grow. So I think we should try to learn the abstract ideas through like subtle meanings. I mean, when I say abstract ideas, back in school when we were in the science lab, I mean, like as in looking at a frog, right, and its parts, right? So we would wonder that how come these parts join together and become one frog, right? So I think we need to start looking at life not from a main myopic level, but from a very diversified level, which can only happen if you indulge in creative aspects. Like I mentioned, painting, singing, dancing, doing all these things which will help you shake off all those excessive negative energy. And more than that, I think I found myself again because even though I'm practicing these things, but then even we have our setbacks, where we have highs and lows and we vacillate and we sort of think about our life, where it's going and in which direction it's going. So I just learned that, you should always stand for what you think is right, and always learn from your failures, because I learned very early on in my life that would I rather be a mediocre success or a massive failure. So it has always encouraged me to try and fail. It's all right, but then learn and don't repeat that. But then listen to your to your inner compass, not the naysayers, and then try to take risks with something new. I mean, I changed my career at the age of 30, and look where I've got now, right? And just look back, but then look back, because I've seen people that they look at their life like a linear line from point A to B, from birth to death. But I like to see life like a ladder. That once something is gone, like in the past, look back, but then don't retract the past by isolating it. Just see the past as it is, acknowledge, learn, forgive, and then move up. because no similar pattern
I
can be
like
like
that.
repeated
Yes,
unless you have
yes.
the conditioning which is there, right? So it's
Yeah.
about deconditioning yourself, reinventing yourself, and then it's all right to be nervous because I think whenever one feels nervous into doing something, it's the process of like growing. So it's good to be nervous. It's good to, I mean, it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay not to try. So I think I learned this during this time.
I think I've gotten a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah, but
nuggets of wisdom
yeah, what
today.
about people who go to you, Neetu, and they say, "Oh, but I keep doing the same cycle. I keep getting into the cycles of bad relationships, cycles of bad finance, cycles of meeting bad people." What do you tell them? Or why does it happen?
How does a person start
Yeah.
that
See,
change, diba?
okay, let me tell you why does it happen. I can just give you like a synopsis because it's a very deep conditioning which one person has. So it takes time for that person to unearth that. See, people always think that I like to have this, but the reason of having that generally comes from a place of lack. Example, if I want something in my life, do I want that thing because someone has it and I need to aid them? Or do I need something because I need to put someone down? So, what is the intention behind me having that thing or like wanting that thing, right? Because if you're thinking from a place of lack, you might get that something, but it will be just a lingering, fleeting thing. It will not last. Similarly, if
Oh.
you say that I have this thing in my life, say like my career aspect is going great, and I wish to have the same effect in my personal life, then I'm appreciating and I'm very grateful for what I have in my life, and I want more because I'm coming from a place of abundance. That way, I get that thing, but with a permanent, with a permanent, lasting effect. Similarly, it's also important to be mindful of the sponsoring thought, which is your thought behind the thought. Because sometimes, like you tell yourself that, you know what, I want this thing because it's good for me. So my thought is good. I mean, my intention is good. But
Yes.
they are not being mindful that, like, the 90% of the day, if they are thinking about negativity about people, then this sponsoring thought, which is like the mother thought, it's not exactly like in alignment with their present juncture of mind. So
Right.
it's about, like I said, I have different practices, different methods, which I advocate to my clients, and by doing that, step by step, layer by layer, we are able to decondition their mind.
Yeah. So
It
it's a
works like that.
process. It's really a
It's a
process.
Yes.
No?
process, yes.
But where do you start? Can you give us like one question that a person can ask himself to start, like getting
Yes,
into that
yes.
mindset?
Okay, I think I like to add two things here. Okay, number one, because these two mantras I live by. Okay, number one, do not hold anyone accountable with the way you feel right now. Okay, don't
Yes.
blame anyone because it's very easy for someone to blame another person for what he or she is feeling, because then
Right.
you're giving the power to that
So
person for
common.
your state of happiness or their state of happiness. So number one, be accountable for your own state of happiness. That's number one.
Big.
Okay. Number two, that it's about always see if things are tough in your life, like this pandemic, or if you
Yes.
lose your job, or if you lose your loved ones, it's very difficult to feel optimistic and to feel positive. It's
Right.
basically not possible, right? But the idea is not to be positive and like optimistic all the time. It's to choose a better emotion in that moment. Okay. Example, I mean, like this like great mentor and this great author Abraham Hicks, she actually compiled a list of 22 emotions, 22 emotions which are better than each other. Like, I mean, like from love, from like powerlessness, like to grief and to like joy. So example, rage is better than jealousy. Boredom is better than pessimism. As opposed to being pessimistic, right? Or enthusiasm is better than feeling very hopeful about your future encounter. So it's about being mindful of a better emotion. So make a list of the things which you think can instantly divert your mind into something productive or constructive. Like for me, dancing, okay, it can instantly pop my mood. Or by listening to like classical music, or like to like Mozart, or by or like you listen to Chandelier by Sia. Anything which can instantly shift my mood, because 17 seconds are very crucial for you to build that thing in your heart, or like your body. So the idea is to be mindful and be aware that I am getting on the trail of negativity. I just need to now change immediately. So it's all about being aware of the negative thoughts which you're having, and making a list of things. It could be anything at all which can instantly like distract your mind. That's a start. That's a start.
That's a lot.
That's
Which
a
can
lot.
instantly make you
So,
smile. Because it's like a spiral, right? If you think negative, then one thought will lead to another, then to another, then to another. And then you will like spiral down, 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 and down. So the
Yes.
idea is to always float above by having your own list, which can at least in that moment make you feel better than the previous moment. So I'm very mindful of these things, at least, you know, where one can start with.
So we're back again to that mindfulness talaga. It's very important,
and
especially
we're,
nowadays.
Yes.
we're accountable for our own feelings,
Yes.
emotions.
So
That's a big advice, Neetu. We all
thank
need
you.
that. We all need to be reminded of that.
Yeah. So we have couple more questions, right?
Yes.
So, but I was just listening to you answer a question, and you said you like dancing, and you like so because I was gonna
I was
ask
in
what.
theater actually, so I mean I have a theater background,
Oh,
so
I
I've done a couple of
see.
shows as well. So
See.
I worked with this association, this NGO Bharti, which is in Manila, where we
Mm.
used to do like these like annual shows for like to like raise charity.
I see.
So yeah, so I've done some dancing. Yeah.
All
I
right.
love to dance. It's my
Because,
expression of myself.
yeah, because you're going to ask
Yeah, how you relax, how you deal with
how
pressure, how
you
you cope.
chill.
I think I just mentioned so many
Yeah,
things, right?
exactly, right.
Music, dancing, right?
Mm.
And writing. I love to write.
Mm.
I think writing is also a very important, part of my life, because I think when I write, I let out a lot of these emotions, which at times you can't label them, but they are still like very active inside your being. So when you write it down,
Mm.
somehow you are, like dispelling the negative energy, and you're sort
Yes.
of like chilling yourself. And then, of course, I have my own way of, I love to listen to like classical music and meditate.
Okay.
So I like to, I mean, it's very weird actually, but I sometimes dance in my head. So I know these steps, and I listen to this nice drums or like these nice flute music, and I like visualize my steps, and I'm like dancing in my mind, especially when I'm driving somewhere, or when I'm in a taxi or like in a cab, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really can't do much. So I just dance in my head, and that instantly helps my mood. I know it's weird, but I kind of dig that.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, but it's
Yes.
fun.
Because I think like a dancer, so
Yeah.
Well, Neetu, we want to ask, what are your future plans for the business? Or what can people, maybe clients, can look forward to?
See, I've been here since this is my ninth year in Philippines, and I worked with a lot of centers, wellness centers, where I worked as a tarot card reader. So I'm pretty, I mean, like a lot of people know me as a tarot card reader here already, or like the intuitive counselor. I'm trying to now bring Mahavashtu on the map.
Okay.
So I really plan to, market Mahavashtu and change the way one lives, and make their house like an inspirational house, where they can manifest their goals and their visions. So I really like to empower people through their surroundings. So my focus this year is mainly about putting Mahavashtu on the Manila and the Philippines map. And secondly, I'm just about to get my book published.
Yay.
Send
Yes.
a copy to you soon.
All
So I'm
right.
right now focusing on my book as well.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be out soon.
Congratulations. Wow, congratulations. What will be it will be about Mahavastu.
No, it's actually it's part fictional, part non-fiction.
Oh.
It's about a journey of a woman from being profane to being very like profound, like
Nice.
what she was, and then how she overcomes that, and meets different characters, and then becomes this person who is an absolutely astounding woman. So it's her journey.
Wow, let's write
Sounds
about that.
interesting. Yes, yes.
Non-fiction,
Tell
but
us when it's
non-fiction, like
going
I
to be
said.
launched already. You want to read your book.
I would love for you to read my book. I will say
Yes.
send you a copy soon.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
so everybody watching, please watch out for that book by Neetu
Yes,
Nilishi,
and follow Neetu on her social media
media
sites,
accounts.
Instagram.
And
Thank you so
before
much.
we
And
say
I'd like to
goodbye,
say one thing. Oh,
okay.
please go
No,
ahead.
I was
Please go.
going to say, what would be your final message before we end the
Yes.
Yes.
show?
Okay. Because this year is governed by Mercury, because it's 20215, right? Which is the number for Mercury. And Mercury is all about communication. So this year, be very careful with your choice of
Aha.
words, like your speech, because your speech can elevate a person and your speech can ruin someone's life. So I would highly implore people to use better words. I mean, use wonderful instead of good. Use magnificent instead of like beautiful. Use words kindly, be compassionate, and just, make your life worth living.
Yeah, very helpful, I think. And I think a lot of
Yes.
people will be able to relate.
Yeah, so inspiring. We wish we can talk some more, but we
Yes.
cannot extend our time.
Yeah, so the
It was lovely
time.
talking to you. I
This
think I felt
calls
so
for,
comfortable.
yeah, need
Thank
to,
you.
this calls for a part two
Yes,
soon.
definitely. We hope you can
Absolutely.
we hope you can join us again. Maybe we
It was
can
my
have
honor. And like I said, that it
Yeah.
was wonderful. I think like you both are doing a great, fantastic job.
oh
So more power to you.
thank you
Thank
very much, Neetu,
you.
and we hope you have a magnificent day. Okay,
Yes,
follow
Absolutely.
magnificent week, months,
magnificent.
year.
Yes. So
No, no, no. Yeah, exactly. Right.
thank you very much, and we hope you enjoyed our conversation as much as we did.
Yes.
This has been Dina Ventura.
And this has been Francine Marquez.
Thank you for watching PairFect.
Bye.
Bye.